Okay, what's going on today? Somebody getting fined by Transport Canada apparently for flying a drone? Like this article, it says Ontario man accused of using unregistered drone to film fatal crash site. The other one says Wallaceburg man fined $250 for operating unregistered drone after fatal crash. So is it really that serious? And it made me think of other things as well. This one here says police say a man is facing charges after allegedly using an unregistered drone to film the scene of a fatal crash in Chatham, Kent. Investigators say the crash happened in early April and a man flew the drone over the scene and alongside an ambulance as it was taking a patient to hospital. An Orang Air ambulance was also called to the scene and was not far from the drone. The video was uploaded to YouTube and police worked with Transport Canada to identify and interview the drone operator. A 33-year-old man from Wallaceburg has been charged with contravening the Canadian aviation regulations. He was issued a $250 fine for allegedly operating a remotely piloted aircraft system without it being registered. So basically someone just randomly seeing an accident, deciding to fly the drone to get a perspective, and he publishes it on YouTube and I guess gets reported by whoever. They do the investigation and they fine him, which is the funny thing, not because of what he was doing was dangerous or because he didn't have a license or it's around like just say an emergency operation, it's because he didn't register the drone. That's one of the weird things I was thinking about this. For example, are they implying this guy was like a licensed operator and basically the only thing was he didn't pay the money to register his drone, like to give it that number and all that, that's it? That's how he got like the fine, not for everything else. It's kind of weird when you think about it, isn't it? Because even in the other article it says, as a result of the investigation, the Wallaceburg man has been charged by Transport Canada with contravening section 901.02 of the Canadian aviation regulations, operating a remotely piloted aircraft system without it being registered, and issued a $250 fine. CKPS drone operator Constable Josh Fickworth reminds drone operators, with the advent of small affordable drones, more people are flying them, resulting in an increased number of remotely piloted aircraft in the air. Drone operators should be aware that there are a number of rules and regulations that dictate how and where the drones can be flown, he adds. In that regards, it makes sense where you have to familiarize yourself with the laws and stuff like that, but it's making me think of this thing about the narrative and all that, about safety, because this guy, just to my understanding, there was no crash or anything like that. Like you could argue he was flying it, quote, illegally because he wasn't registered, like here. But if you're that quick to investigate this, what about that story where, funny enough, it relates to like the RCMP and stuff crashing their drone into a helicopter, like literally crashing their drone into the helicopter? Where's the investigations and all that? Or it could go into that topic, as I mentioned, where this whole system, for the most part, is not designed to actually teach people how to fly. It's more about just jargon and so forth, which makes you wonder, like in terms of, I guess, even police training when it comes to other things. This is kind of interesting, I guess, reading this one. This one says, video shows Mountie entering Saskatchewan home with axe during wellness check. Open the door, I'm coming back with a sledgehammer, officer says in a video. RCMP in Saskatchewan are reviewing the behavior of an officer captured on video yelling, swearing, and carrying an axe into a home where a man had harmed himself. Jonas Hardlot lives in Stanley Mission, about 450 kilometers north of Saskatoon, and posted the 1-minute video to Facebook. The 33-year-old Cree man says he was experiencing depression and he was speaking to his mother-in-law, who called the local clinic to check on him. So I guess in these situations, do they actually send like officers and stuff usually? But you can see in the video, it seems like the officer was telling him, I guess, to open the door, but the guy was saying, well, he'll wait for the actual workers who are doing, I guess, that wellness check, like psychological. Like, I don't exactly know how it works, but yeah, you can see how aggressive he was. It was kind of crazy.
Around?
I'm not f***ing around.
Open
I'm
the
not doing
door.
anything. I'm not doing oh, shit.
Open the door now!
Should I open the door?
No.
The f***ing clinic is here to check on you. Open the door, I'm coming back with a sledgehammer.
I'll open the door when the clinic comes here. I'm recording it. I'm recording it.
You think I was kidding?
What's up?
The clinic is here to check on you.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for the clinic. I'd open the door for the clinic, not for you.
It reminds me of another story that happened around this province, and it dealt with a wellness check as well. And the officer basically dragged the person as if they're like a dead body, and then they started to kick the person like in front of the door, I guess waiting for backup and stuff to arrive. Man, just imagine all this that actually happens behind the scenes at times where it's just not caught on video. Is it actually that big of a problem? Because I would imagine the reason why this stuff is popping up more is just because of all that police brutality stuff in the news with all the racism and all that. But it does make me think just in terms of things like, for example, even the drones and things like the regulations, I mean, it should be treated equally, because I could imagine, like in this case, if it is a big problem with, I guess, an officer being too aggressive, it could be because they constantly believe like you are, quote, I guess you could say, above the law because you are the officer. So it doesn't matter what you do, even if it's negligent, like it's okay. Like to me, it should be treated equally. So yeah, like in this drone thing or whatever, if you're gonna punish a guy for that in that situation, then a situation like that other one crashing into a helicopter, there's no way that should go unnoticed. All right, see you guys later.